Hello everybody. So I'm Russel Jones. I'm the CEO and the Managing Director at Fetchify. So we're very happy to have you here. So just a very brief word about Fetchify, and then we will, I promise, talk about our kind of insights from Black Friday. So Fetchify, who are we? So we have quite a nice long mission statement that's about empowering our customers to kind of maximize their potential. But actually, I quite like this nice succinct way of talking about it. So basically, our mission is really to turn e-commerce managers into heroes, and we do that by helping them increase conversion and reduce failed deliveries. Simple as that. Those two key benefits. So we have the fastest, most accurate address lookup product on the market, and the way that it works is, when a customer is going through the checkout, they're filling in their address. Obviously, we help them fill in the address. It's a search as you type function. So fewer keystrokes equals faster conversion. Simple as that. Particularly important on mobile devices. And of course, secondly, a valid address equals fewer failed deliveries. So very simple kind of cost benefit to putting this in. We integrate with all the major platforms, so you name it. We have over 30 ready-made plugins for everything from Shopify to BigCommerce, WooCommerce, EKM. So you name it, we have it, and we have over 10,000 customers globally. And it is a global product. We are based here in the UK. We're part of the ClearCourse group. Come and see us in our main, other office in Maidenhead. But it is a global product. We buy data in from all over the world. So don't just think of us as a UK company. So anyway, that's just about us. So then, what did we see on Black Friday? So first of all, why? I suppose why are we even presenting these numbers? Well, obviously we sit in the checkout. Although when a customer uses our product and consumes, if you like, a lookup, that isn't a guarantee that the sale was completed, because we're actually, they might still drop out of the checkout. So, but it's 99%, right? So it's a pretty good indicator of the overall numbers. And of course, we cover all sectors of e-commerce. So again, it's quite a nice broad view. So let me just explain what it is. So basically, this is the number of checkouts, effectively, number of checkouts that we have seen, by year. So starting 2017 here and up to 2021 this year. So
the x-axis is days, is it?
It's days, yeah. So we've got Monday. So this is going through Black Friday week from Monday through to Black Friday itself, and then obviously through the Black Friday weekend to Cyber Monday. So so you can see that this year, even though, well, the key takeaway here is that Black Friday this year was lower in terms of volume. The Black Friday day itself was lower than last year, obviously much higher than several years before. But actually this peak was, the green peak was lower. But what we did see is earlier in the week we saw higher volume. So we saw people coming into Black Friday shopping, much earlier in the week, which I think is a fairly consistent. But then through the weekend, again, the volumes were lower. So effectively what consumers and merchants have been doing is pulling consumers through earlier with earlier offers, and consumers themselves have felt, well, actually, I want to get into this earlier. I don't want to wait until Black Friday. I think we've got another one as well. So if you look cumulatively, here we go.
Sorry, Russell. One bit I found quite interesting.
Do you want to go? We can't go back.
No. I know we're only talking daily, but
yeah.
I saw a trend that on Tuesday it was much higher.
On the Tuesday after Cyber Monday.
Yeah. So it would be quite interesting. I don't know if you know. Sorry for putting you on the spot.
No.
If that continues to go on.
Well, my sense is it probably will, because I think I've seen, in my own inbox, I've seen, offers saying, well, we're extending this for an extra few days, or, only available for a few more days. Whereas I think in previous years they would have cut those things off. So So cumulatively, so this is looking through the Black Friday week from Monday through to Friday, we see almost no difference. I mean, you can hardly put a hair between last year and this year. So all that's really happened in that in the early part of the week is that the sales in the early part of the week have offset any kind of lower sales in the other end of the week. So consumers have really just spread their shopping out across the whole week rather than just do it in the Black Friday weekend itself. But obviously clearly much higher than previous years. I mean, I think one thing to also notice about 2020, of course, is that, remember, in November 2020, we were all in lockdown. Do you remember there was a snap 1 month lockdown here in the UK? So I say most of our consumers using the service were in a lockdown situation. So obviously they couldn't go out to retail stores. So in fact, and there were quite a few commentators saying that, well, will we really be able to maintain those levels that we saw last year, because people will be able to go back into the physical stores? And the good news is, yes, we have seen that, and so that's now baked in, that's locked in for future years, which I think is a good news for everybody. So what are the conclusions? I think we had a little slide on conclusions, and then we had another one looking a bit longer term, didn't we, Tracy? Yeah. So it's really just summarising it. We're really seeing that consumers' usage is spread out more across more of the Black Friday week. The run up to Black Friday is more steady, and people are buying early. So then the theory is, okay, how much more earlier are customers buying? So we look beyond the Black Friday week. What do we see? And here, so we've looked back now to 8 weeks before. So that's end of September. End of September. And we're looking at, what are the usage patterns? So again, this year is the green line, and we saw, again, a lot more people coming in, doing their online shopping in late September and early October. I remember reading about the fact that, of course, there were a lot of worries and concerns in the press about shortages, about people not being able to get the items they wanted, because of issues with supply chains, whether that's microchips or containers being stuck in ports. So a lot of consumers did start to buy for peak a lot sooner. And I think what happened is, this is what I read, there's a lot of merchants started offering discounts and promotions in early October in order to try and grab as much of that share of wallet as they could. And then those promotions have largely carried on. But I think that's what we saw in early October, was merchants actually coming in and trying to drive that early traffic, trying to grab as much of it as they could. I don't know if did you see something similar on Shopware, right?
I couldn't tell you, because we don't have that data coming straight back in, and I certainly have the ones that we do have. Yeah. Our cloud stores, I don't have the data for, so I couldn't tell you what's happening. To tell you the truth. So is this? What I'm fascinated is obviously this is data you've got from your presence in the checkout. Yes. So is this basically calls back to you for validation information?
Exactly. Yeah. Say, okay, is this address correct, or
so numbers? This is transaction numbers rather than
correct.
Any kind of value or anything like that.
Equates to order volume, effectively, checkout volume. Yeah. Okay. Have we got another one? Oh yeah. So then we looked at, okay, let's try and break that down a bit and work out, well, what's driving some of the differences. And of course, it does vary a lot by category. So if we look back at 2020 and the Black Friday weekend in 2020, we saw that some categories were clearly winners. So cards and gifts.
Sorry.
That's okay. Cards and gifts, food and ingredients delivery, and animal charities, which is very niche, I suppose, but they were, overall the biggest winners in Black Friday 2020.
Is that from a low base?
Yes, it was, yes.
I don't know, I can't tell you who our animal charity customers were.
We've done a charity, we've done 1,000% growth.
No, this is a like for like. So this is looking at 2020 versus 2019. So for the same customers. We've done it on a like-for-like basis. And then obviously the losers were, again, we were in lockdown. So luxury travel, event ticketing. So the question is, okay, so how did these categories, or how did the categories do it this year, 2021, compared to 2020? So if we look, one of the biggest winners we saw was in 2020 was cards and gifts. If you think about gifting, I don't know, people like Moonpig, Photobox, these guys, they did incredible business this time last year. Incredible business. And they haven't, because people have been able to go back into store, I think into physical stores this year, they haven't fared quite so well. So the blue chart on the far side is this year, the purple one is obviously last year. So let's look at some of the other categories.
I just would point out they are still higher than what they were in previous years. They had that peak in 2020, the lockdown. And although, yes, they're not back to there, they're still doing very well compared to where they were a few years back.
Absolutely. Then let's look at food and ingredients delivery. So they've done much better this year. We can't put our finger on exactly why. It could be that people are still, not as comfortable going out and using restaurants and so forth. So it could be that.
How much is the growth of the segment in general?
How much is the growth of the segment?
That is a sort of underlying trend.
I think I would say the long-term trend.
Yeah, the long-term trend rather than
yes,
area, because
I think you're right. Everyone did, but I would have expected. Well, we did see quite a lot of growth from 2019 to 2020 because people were again forced to learn how to do grocery shopping online.
And then the Gustos and stuff capitalised. They grew, and as a result, the sector became more, robust. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're doing really well. I'm making it up to go along as well.
But I think it is an important distinction that a lot of people, especially in May of 2020, we saw volumes, both new customers and established customers go through the roof. People were absolutely forced to, and every demographic of customer, from granny and grandpa, having to learn how to do it on their iPad, suddenly to everyone. So consumers were absolutely forced to go into, and it was through grocery shopping in the main that they learnt. So, okay. So, and then our animal charities. So again, they unfortunately haven't fared very well this year, and I think they did obviously very well through the early part of 2020, as did a lot of charities. We had the Captain Tom effect, and charities on the whole did extremely well in early 2020. And I think unfortunately with economic uncertainty and inflation and everything, that there is just, consumers are generally feeling less charitable this year than they were last year. And then luxury travel, so you can see 2020 absolutely hit the floor, but this year seems to have come back pretty well. Clearly, there's some seasonality in there. I happen to know that the biggest day of the year for luxury travel is Boxing Day. People, have opened all their Christmas presents, they've eaten all the turkey, they're feeling pretty miserable. The weather outside is awful in the UK, and they go and book a holiday. So let's see. So it's probably more of a test. Boxing Day will be more of a test for these guys. So I think that. Oh no, we have got event ticketing. So yes, and Tracy can attest to this because Tracy went to her first gig on Saturday. What was it? The wedding present?
Yes.
Ticketing is kind of back with a bit of a bang, and seems to be doing well, which is great news. Fantastic news, especially for Tracy. So I think that might be it. Yes. Were there any questions or?
Very impressive.
One thing, are these the growth on the animated slides? Did you account your growth?
We did, yeah. We counted our growth into that. Yes.
Yeah, we took them as a sort of an average of how many customers we had at the time as well. Yes, so that was factored in.
Yeah, so we've done it on a like-for-like basis. We have stripped out our growth, so it is a like-for-like. Yeah, we probably could also look at it on lookups per customer, but we stripped out our growth.
I've got a question, Russell, but it's not really Black Friday related.
Go for your life.
So, for me, your product's quite. I've never really come to a webinar a seminar like this. For me, as a user, I hate inputting.
Yes.
So the autocomplete functionality for me is a game changer. What sort of uplift does that provide? You probably get this question every discussion.
That's great. I love that question.
I'm keen to understand what impact it has on users.
So it depends a little bit on whether customers are using it from a competitor already. If they're not using any form of address lookup, whether that's postcode lookup or the search as you type autocomplete, we see up to about a 40% increase in conversion. If you're obviously moving from a competitor, it's a little bit less, but we tend to see an uplift if they come over from a competitor too. So, yeah.
Sorry, it wasn't Black Friday.
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's almost like a plant, that question in the audience. So,
did you text him before?
No,
I should have done.
Now that browsers are doing sort of address autocomplete stuff more, how is that affecting your business?
Well, I mean, autocomplete has been in the browser functionality for.
I don't know. It seems right now that Chrome, for instance, is taking the stride forward in terms of saying, do you want to use that profile or this profile or this profile and plug it in? How does that affect your, the usage for you?
Well, we recommend to our clients that they turn off autofill, or that they integrate it in a way that or that our tool overwrites the autofill or kind of stops the autofill from working, because otherwise, users can end up just reusing incorrect address data.
If you've got two addresses, for instance, in anywhere where they tend to use work or home, for instance, you come down to get amalgams of both. So you've realised there's the wrong one, and then you put the other one in. It's both. Anyway, but it is much more prevalent, as far as I can tell, from my own experience, and sample of one. These days, and certainly the browsers are making certain real efforts to fulfil that function among, alongside the wallet, effectively the credit card wallet function as well.
Yes, I think, and wallets are almost more taking it on from the autofill. Yeah, as I say, it's we do think that is a problem for merchants, because it is, if you like, propagating incorrect data and getting it into their systems. So we're recommending you either turn it off, or, as I say, you integrate our product in a way that it basically stops the browser. It takes priority over the browser autofill. So.
Generally, until unless you select the drop down, it will tell you it's required. Because whenever you select, you have an ID to check. That's how you prevent. Even if you select the Chrome autofill, it will say you have to enter again.
The problem with the Chrome autofill is it never tells you an address is incorrect. According to Google, every address is correct no matter what you put in.
I'm not saying it's better. Please don't think I'm saying it's better.
No.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
He says yes.
Yeah, we've just had a request from the client because of autofill. They're getting some wrong addresses. So they're requesting something like this or this.
No, exactly. It doesn't do the data validation tool, which actually
to save delivery
is from the merchant's point of view, is the most important function that you do. And obviously from the conversion point of view that helps, but that thing will do it. But from the merchant's point of view, the most important thing is having validated data, because there's only one thing worse than no data, and that's data you can't trust.
Absolutely, yeah. And just as an aside, we can cleanse data as well. So if you have got that problem, we can obviously stop it happening any further, but we can also go back and we can cleanse your existing data, and we can decide if it's a good match versus our data, or a partial match, in which case we can return what we think it should be.
Yeah.
So we can do things like that as well.
Is there tracking to this point? So I know you said that when they fill that in, it's not a guaranteed completion, but it's a very, very good indication.
Yes.
Can you use Tag Manager to say they've completed the address, they've used it, but they didn't check out, or they did check out?
It will depend on your checkout and what system you're on, but yeah, you can set up sort of goals through there to see at which point they drop out.
Okay.
Yeah, it does really depend on the platform you're on there.
It wouldn't be ethical for you to gather that information.
We don't have that. No, we don't have that.
We don't know. We store really no data about our customers. I mean, we even
Hence your question about value. We don't know. We know an address has been put in there. That's as far as we go. Yeah. No, we don't store it.
Do you have any information on? Obviously, you know what postcodes have been asked for.
We do. We're not.
So you know how much the weight is around, say, the UK. At people, that's quite interesting. Isn't it?
Yes, we don't routinely analyse that. We probably should do a bit more of that, and globally, yeah. But so we know how many lookups are being used in the UK and in other countries, but we don't routinely.
You don't do any sort of regional demographic.
No.
We could do it, but we haven't.
Quite interesting.
Be good for
You can
monitors.
maybe feedback to your merchants as well, saying, well,
we have to be careful. We have to anonymise the data because of GDPR to know the customers of that person. So we do have to be a slight remove from it. So
I think even if we did analyse that, we could only.
Just doesn't the postcode without an address to it, because obviously it needs the number. Doesn't that anonymise that data?
I think the I think actually even the postcode, the full postcode, could be perceived as personal information.
Even without a name to go with.
I think so. Yeah. Well, sorry, the postcode itself, no, because that's public information. But the fact that postcode was perhaps that someone at that postcode was looking on this website, that is quite interesting information because there could only be 2 or 3 houses in that street. You see, so that's why we don't routinely collect all that information and store it because it is sensitive under GDPR.
But being able to show a merchant quite nicely sort of information about how effective some of their campaigns were in specific postcodes. Did it hit the posh postcodes, or did it hit the less posh postcodes, shall we say? Would be really pertinent information and more value you could deliver.
Our merchants can access their own information. It's just us having it as a central store for us to be able to use it with stats that we anonymise it. But yeah, our merchants themselves can see exactly what postcodes have been searched on their site.
Okay. Cool.